Hello friends. In this video, we are basically going to understand the basics of Kafka. So let's get started. So what is Apache Kafka? So Apache Kafka is called as a distributed streaming platform. Let's try to understand what does these three words mean. So distributed means Apache Kafka is basically a distributed system. It works with a multiple nodes or multiple servers which are distributed across multiple machines. By streaming platform, it means that Kafka allows us to process streams of records. And streams are nothing but like data which is in a sequence or sequence of a records. That is what we call a streams as. And what does Kafka mean when it says the distributed streaming platform? What does it basically provides us? So it provides on a broader level three main operations. The first is like it allows us to publish and subscribe to streams of records. So it means that producers can publish a record to a Kafka and consumers can basically subscribe to this stream of records and consume those records. Secondly, Kafka basically stores the stream of records and it does it in a fault tolerant and durable manner. Fault tolerant because it is a distributed system, it allows some nodes to be down like there, because of which even if one server is down, we can read the records from other one. Also it also allow it stores the records on a file system, so that's why they are stored in a durable manner. Third thing which provides is it allows us to process the streams of records. So Kafka has its stream processing APIs exposed and which allows us to process the records as they come, so which allows us to build a real-time applications around Apache Kafka. Now when to use Kafka? So there are basically two broad use cases for which you can use Apache Kafka. The first is to build real-time streaming data pipelines. So what are pipelines? Uh, so pipelines are nothing but uh, things which allows us to connect various systems in our organization or in our project system. For example, you have NoSQL database, you have S3 buckets, and you need to connect files arriving on S3 to the NoSQL database that you have. So those kind of pipelines can be built using Apache Kafka. The second use case which is used for which the Kafka is used is real-time streaming applications. So what are these applications? Like real-time streaming applications are those which react to real-time data that is arriving, like which allows us to react to data as soon as it comes. For example, if you in a financial domain, if you want to write application which does fraud detection on a credit card transaction or any debit card transactions, so those kind of applications need to work in a real time as soon as something happens, and those kind of applications can be built using a Kafka. Now let us try to understand some Kafka concepts. First we will go through the quick definitions of these concepts, and then we will take one example and we'll try to explore these concepts more with that example. First thing, event or a record. So each record in a Kafka consists of a key, value and a timestamp, and record is immutable. So whenever you are producing a record, you can specify a key which is optional and then your actual value, and you can also specify timestamp, or uh, Kafka will add a timestamp at the time when the event was generated. Then there is a concept of topic. Topic is a category or feed name to which these records are published. You can think of topic as a table in the database. So similarly, in the database, we have table. In the same way, in Kafka, we have topics. Now topics are further divided into partitions. Now partitions are like a commit log, like structure commit logs. So logs are like ordered sequence of records. So in which records are always appended at the end. And these records are immutable, that once they are written, we cannot update or change them. Single topic consists of multiple such partitions. Then offset. Now offset is nothing but a sequential ID. These numbers which get assigned to an individual record whenever they are written to a partition. So here this 0 is the first offset, and then subsequent numbers are the offset for subsequent records. Now for example, let us consider a carpool application. Now think that you are writing a carpool application, and in one of the module is about getting the GPS location of individual cars. So you need to get those location on, say, on one of the Kafka topic. So for that you create a topic called as car GPS. Now when you create a Kafka topic, you need to also specify the number of partitions that topic will have. For your use case, say you decide to create 3 partitions, P0, P1, A, P2 are the 3 partitions. Now when a producer produces a record, it also specifies key along with the value. So it is usually a pair of key value. Now when producer produces this record on Kafka topic, Kafka will check what is its key, and based on the key it will assign a partition to that particular record, and that record will be written to that partition. Say our first record gets written to the partition P0. Whenever it gets written, it will also get a sequential ID which is called as offset. The 0 will be offset for this first record. Now all records, subsequent records, will be appended to that partition. These are immutable records, so we cannot change them. They are always appended. Now for different keys, the record may go to the different partition. So we will have multiple records here as well. And similarly for the P2 partition, we will have the records. Now Kafka guarantees that within one partition the order will be maintained. That is, if you read 0 before 1, it means that 0 was also arrived before 1. So ordering is guaranteed within only the partition and not across the partition. So you cannot guarantee that this record 2 has come after this record 0. That cannot be, that guarantee is not there. The only guarantee is the order is maintained within a single partition. So if you want your use case, if you want ordering for a particular car, then you should use the car registration ID as a key, so that for all the same car or for particular car, all the records will go to one partition. So that is how we need to select our key. Now this is about producer. Now consumers. The consumers can consume records from anywhere, like from any offset. For example, consumers can start reading at the beginning of the topic, or consumer can start at the end as well, so that they will only read the latest record. Now when we set up a consumer, it start reading from all the 3 partitions. However, there is a concept in Kafka which is called as consumer groups, which means you can launch multiple consumers and they will share the partition. For example, since we have 3 partitions, we can launch actually 3 consumers here, C1, C2 and C3, and they will start reading from individual partitions of this topic, and they will work in a group. In this case, if one of the consumer goes down, then other consumer will start consuming from that partition. So this is what a overall like concept of producer, consumers, topic, partitions and offset. In next section we will see what are the Kafka brokers. Now let us try to understand how Kafka cluster is formed. Kafka cluster is nothing but basically a cluster of multiple Kafka servers or Kafka brokers. So when we start a single Kafka server on particular machine, call that machine as a Kafka broker. Now this broker usually has a broker.id property which is unique identifier for that particular server, and it is usually integer. For this example, let's consider it as 0. Now broker doesn't store any state. It uses Zookeeper to store its state, also to coordinate between other brokers. So whenever a particular broker start, it actually registered itself with this broker ID on this Zookeeper. Now when another broker, if we start another broker broker.id equal to 1, then these two brokers will combine to form a Kafka cluster. We can again start another broker with id equal to 2, and we will form a cluster of 3 Kafka brokers. Now if you remember, we created one topic called car GPS, and we created it with 3 different partitions. Now when we have such a cluster, the individual partitions are usually written to different brokers. So partition P0 will go to the broker 0, partition P1 will go to the broker 1, and partition P2 will go to the broker 2. This is about partitions, but we also have a concept called as a replication factor. Now replication factor basically tells Kafka that how many replica a particular topic should have. So if when we created car GPS, if we specify that we want a replication factor of 2, then each partition will have another replica created on a different broker. For example, in this example, now P0 will have a replica created on a broker 1. P1 will have a replica created on a broker 2, and P2 will be replicated on the broker 0. So this way we have one more replica for each individual partition on different brokers. Now what this provides us? So this provides us a failure protection. So for example, if in this case, if this broker with ID1 goes down, in that case we still can retrieve a data from P0, P2 and P1 partitions from broker 0 and broker 2. So in this way we get the high availability and basically a fault tolerance. Okay, so this concludes our basic exploration of Kafka. This we covered a lot of basic concepts which are required before we start writing any application for the Kafka using a Spring Kafka. This was it in this video. In next video we will see how to set up the Kafka on your local machine. So see you in the next video. Thank you.